Okay. Hi, Hayden. Thank you so much for taking out the time to share your experience with others who might be considering enrolling in our 8-week sales mastery course, but might not know everything or be a little hesitant or want to hear from others like you who have now been through it. So I'd love it if you could share, where are you at in the country and what does your firm specialize in?
So I am based in Winter Haven, Florida, which is right in the middle of Florida. And I specialize in fractional CFO and tax planning.
Awesome. So before we met, what were things like in your firm as it related to your sales process or just anything? Like what were the biggest challenges you were having as it related to anything sales?
First of all, I actually really despise sales. It's not something I'm good at. I prefer to be behind the scenes. And I worked in corporate for a long time. And then I was self employed doing tax planning and tax prep. But the main challenge I had this year is that I had a job as a CFO for 3.5 years. And then I was terminated. So I was basically starting my processes and everything from scratch. And I have almost no clients. So I was really kind of scared in terms of how am I going to find good clients? What are my processes going to be? And I have zero confidence that I can sell anything. So those were my main challenges.
Okay, got it. So what was the moment you decided to do something about it? Like where you're like, okay, I cannot figure this out on my own. I need to do something. I don't have my job. Like what was that moment where you're like, I need to do something about this?
I realized that I think mainly in the sales call with you, you and I had a in-person discussion at a tax planning summit, and I realized that what I was going to need to do, I definitely couldn't do on my own. It was going to be too much, too stressful,
Yeah.
and I needed help.
Yeah.
So it seemed like your program could be the right fit. And the other thing I realized during our call was that I actually had built a business that I didn't like and I wanted to change it.
Oh, that's fascinating. I did not know that. So you changed all the services and the CFO advisory and tax planning were before when we had originally talked at the in-person, you were doing mostly what? Like the bookkeep or it wasn't bookkeeping. What were you doing mostly?
Mainly tax preparation, but I
Tax
realized
preparation.
that what I had been doing before I didn't like. It grew to where I hated it and I dreaded it and I didn't like my clients and I didn't like my processes. So that's why I knew something needed to change.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so you realized that when we were having our enrollment call, were there any initial skepticisms, Hayden, that you had or fears that you had about enrolling and working with us?
Sure, I had a lot of fear because it's a big investment and I really didn't know what to expect. So I just felt like, well, maybe it would be not too good to be true, but maybe it wouldn't work for me because I'm not really a groupie. I tend to try to blaze my own trail, but this was really the first time I decided, okay, I need some help and maybe they know what they're talking about because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I love how you said you weren't part of a groupie and you blaze your own trail. That was great. For others that might be thinking kind of the same thing, and now that you made the decision to enroll and you got past your fear and you made the investment in yourself, what would you say now being and going through the 8 weeks uh, that you wish you would have heard maybe in one of these videos earlier, like before we even
I
had a call?
I think the thing that I enjoyed the most, mainly because I'm not a groupie, is it's very personalized. So it is what you make it, and what you put into it, you will get out of it. And the other thing for me personally, it was extremely challenging around my attitude with sales, changing that, changing my mindset, and also really focusing on myself and the service that I bring to others, but also how to make my business work for myself as well as clients and not just focusing on them and twisting myself in 12 different directions to try to make somebody happy.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. And I'm curious, Hayden, did you try to figure this out on your own prior? Because if I recall, you tried to do the firm on your own, but you were in the job, right? Was there anything that you had tried, other programs, coaches, or anything in solutions that just didn't work out for you?
So previously, I'm still a financial planner, but I used to do personal financial planning. So I had been part of a group
Uh-huh.
that helped set me up, did some masterminds, things like that. So I actually was able to converse with clients and sell my work, but it just I wasn't passionate about it.
Yeah.
And it I don't know, it just started to feel suffocating to me. The preparing the proposals and all the stuff, that you're always told that you have to do to get a client.
Yeah. Love it. And so, what have been your biggest wins and celebrations that you've had in the last 8 weeks going through the 8 week sales mastery course?
Biggest wins for me personally was breaking through some emotional barriers and also some mindset barriers around success, what that means to me, and making myself define it rather than be defined by others. And also, I've had a couple of sales calls and they've been really empowering, and it's totally changed my attitude. And now I walk into a sales call with confidence because I know what I'm listening for and I know how to bring it back to my clients' issues and put me as the right person to be able to solve it if it's a right fit, because I can always say no and not take a bad client.
I love it. That was not the case before.
No.
Yeah. What did you like best about the program, Hayden, and the coaching? And what was unique about us versus the other masterminds and coaches and things that you've worked with in the past? What would you say was unique and different about our program versus other things you've seen out there?
What was really unique and different was the homework and also the feedback, because I feel like that helped a lot. And then in the calls that we had every week, to be able to bounce ideas off of people and also listen to other people's problems, because maybe I am or am not dealing with the exact same thing, but still the advice and everything that we got is applicable no matter what services. I mean, there's always a common theme. So I really enjoyed the personalization aspect, because it wasn't just okay, a group call and then we leave, but you do your own thing, you get feedback on what you're doing, and then if you have issues, to bring it to the wider audience. So those were the things specifically that I enjoyed versus things I had experienced before.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And Hayden, I'd love it if you could share any words of wisdom that you would give to another firm owner who might be like you. They have a fractional CFO firm doing tax planning. They're either in a job and want to quit, or maybe they, were terminated just like you and need to figure out how to get their firm to what their version of success is and to get through some of the roadblocks, be it mindset or their beliefs around sales. What would you tell someone who might be thinking about enrolling in the 8 week sales mastery course, but might be in your same shoes where you were just 2 months ago?
Sure. I mean, it is a commitment, it is an investment, but invest in yourself, take the plunge, do the work, and you will be rewarded for it. For some people, it pays off immediately. For people like me that are rebuilding, it's going to take a little bit longer. But the key takeaway for me was the confidence that I now have, and also breaking it down so that people, honestly, they don't care what I'm doing in my job. It's about them and their results that I can offer them, and that's really the key. So now that I've understood that, I can leave all the jargon and everything behind and just focus on the person and talk to them and
Yeah,
make sure that I'm listening and that I can take care of them.
love it. Hayden, thank you so much for taking out the time to share your experience with other firm owners who might be considering enrolling with us and having a call with us. It's been an honor to see your journey. You've done great on all your homework. And I can't wait to see your ROI in the future once you start meeting with more prospects.
Exactly. Me as well. Thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate it. All of your hard work.
You're welcome.